Yeah, we don't want to accidentally end the meeting, huh? That'd be bad, huh? All right. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Okay. Uh-oh. Let's see. Let's be where we need to be. All right. I just don't have enough screen. I need more screen so I can see all my friends and my work. All right. Today we have water around the world. So yesterday you did a great job of inferring from some information, some text quotes, and also some pictures that we are going to be talking about water around the world. Now, yesterday I started out with pictures about water around where we live, right? Because it sort of gives us a really good idea of just gets our brains in that we actually are surrounded by lots of different water entities, aren't we? You know, we have Chatfield that's just down the hill. We have the South Platte that's just over there. We have Evergreen Lake, which isn't very far. Plus, we have, if you know, do a little bit of traveling, we also have what's the beginning of the Colorado River, and also, you know, we also looked at Hanging Lake. So there are lots of different places around Colorado that have water. We are not just going to be focusing on our water, however, although we are going to think a lot about our water. Because water, we talked about yesterday, is very important to humans. We need it. We use it. We have you know, we expect to be able to have it available to us, right? When you go walk up to a faucet, you expect it to work, right? When you hit that turn on, you know, that whatever it is, up and down or side or whatever that particular lever is that pushes that water, gets it started, most of us just expect it to be there. And we're going to find out, we're going to do a lot of work in the next couple months that we find out that we are pretty lucky that not every place in the world is that necessarily the truth. All right. So I'm just going to bring us back to our guiding questions that are going to guide us for all of this module. So the first one is, why are the world's freshwater sources threatened? So we talked about the word freshwater, and who remembers what the definition was for freshwater? Abby, what do you remember?
Freshwater is
Yep, you can definitely look at our vocabulary. You bet.
freshwater is water that we can safely drink.
Water that we can safely drink. So that word that's important there is safely, right? Safe, so that it won't make us sick, right? Or is available. And we talked about the word sources. Sources is a word that where something comes from, right? So freshwater sources, where that water is coming from. And then the word threatened. We didn't talk about the word threatened. Who thinks they know what that word means? Threatened. Any of my friends at home know what threatened means? What word do you see inside it, first of all? What word do you see inside it? Jensen?
I was raising my hand for what it means.
Oh, okay. So, but can you think about what threatened means and what words you see inside it? What do you think, Mr. Jensen?
I think it means like scared of someone else.
Scared of someone else? Okay, so somebody's threatening. I'm wondering, why am I know what's going on here. All right, so he said we're scared of something. So when someone threatens you, you might be scared of them. Elena, what do you think? When someone threatens you, they do something that might be able to hurt you. Okay, so what does it mean in this case then? Why are the world's freshwater sources threatened? Obviously the water can't make us scared and can't, you know, threaten us. So what does it mean in this case? Surnay, what do you think?
I know the word that's inside of
What is, yes, what is the word that's inside? Our threat. Exactly. That is our root word, isn't it? Threat. And then we have ENED. Threatened. So what do you think, Miss Haley? What do you think in this case it means?
like if people are thirsty and like they can't get any water, it kind of it's like they're being
So Haley's mentioning that sometimes people, if they can't get water, then they maybe feel what?
threatened.
Threatened. Okay. Robert, what do you think it means in this case?
Like you're in like so you're like you need this thing to rise and you might not have much of it.
There.
And, like,
Okay.
and you're being threatened or like if someone's trying to hurt you, that's called being threatened.
Okay. So Robert, I like that word you started at the very beginning. You said endangered, kind of. So something that's worrying you, something you're not going to be able to have, something is endangered, right? You're no longer possibly being able to access it, right? Okay, so why are the world's freshwater sources threatened? So something's happening to them that's probably not very good, is it? Threatened is not a positive word in any way. August, what are you thinking?
I think that like people are like stealing water.
Okay, so August thinks that maybe people are stealing water, and that's the threatened idea, is that it's no longer there. Okay, Moran, what are you thinking?
I think it's a threat that they don't have enough.
It's a threat that they,
don't
that,
have enough water to drink.
so it's a threat to the people because they don't have enough water to drink. Interesting idea. Abby, what are you thinking?
Pollution in water.
Oh, so Abby's thinking maybe it's pollution that's threatening it, and trash and pollution. Oh, and oil. Oh, you guys are having some great ideas, Lennox.
The water is threatened because it's so hot.
Because it's so what?
So hot and dry.
So hot and dry. So maybe the water source is threatened because it's hot and dry. Lila, what else did you want to add?
What it means by threatened is like we're giving more oil to the water, like it's those speaker stuff, and it might be getting dried up, and the ponds might be drying up and having less and less water.
All right, less and less water might be drying up, might be contaminated with some oil. All right, we've got some great ideas about what we think this might be about. Abby.
Well, I think that what it is because people are like giving it away and not like helping other people live.
Okay, so Abby thinks maybe that people are giving it away and not taking or not making not taking care of it.
They're taking care of the animals, but not as like people.
Okay, not taking care of other people, possibly. All right, yes, Miss Lila, grand finale.
I know one more. I think it's also being threatened by humans like taking the water and like putting chemicals in and stuff and not using it the proper way.
Okay, so Lila says maybe not using it in the proper way and adding chemicals to it. All right, you guys are on. Got some great ideas. So then we have our second guiding question, which kind of leads us to, before we can really dive into the second one, we really have to understand the first guiding question before we can dive into the second one, which is, how do people persuade others to take action to contribute to a better world? Now we know that who those people probably are. We established that was us, right? How do we persuade others to take action, to do something to make a better world? How do we make a better world? So before we can really talk about that second question, we really have to dive into what that first question really means. Why are the world's freshwater sources threatened? So today, our learning targets have to do with determining some main ideas and some supporting details of a text that's read aloud. So this one has to do with a little bit more with listening skills today than just reading skills. Tomorrow we're going to focus on your reading skills. Today we're going to focus more a little bit on your listening skills, okay? So think about, what is a main idea? What is a main idea? We've talked about this before. If you need to look at our academic vocabulary, you can do so. Astria, what are you thinking? What's a main idea?
Like, don't know how to describe this.
It's a little tough. You're right.
When in books, there can be the main character, which is probably all about them and some others, and and it's kind of the same, except it's the idea.
So the character, it's a fiction book, right? So what do you think we're going to be reading mostly now? Is it going to be fiction? Do you think?
No.
Some nonfiction, so some
Yes.
nonfiction work, some informational text. Okay, so the main idea is going to be, so think about main, right? Main is going to be what's it's mostly about, right? So kind of like a gist, right? But in a gist we have, when we talk about a gist, it might be more than one sentence, right? When we say a gist, when we went through all those books, we had characters in there, we had setting in there, we had the problem and how it was solved. Was that all in one sentence? No. Is a main idea mostly one sentence? Yes, it's one sentence that has what this text is mostly about. Now, it says supporting details. What do those mean? What is a supporting detail going to be? What do you think? Supporting detail, Lila?
An important detail, like if there's something big happens and there was something tiny that caused it, and it's a little detail, but it's important.
Okay, so I like your word important. So a supporting detail is important to what, Mr. Cole? Add some more to that.
It supports what you're trying to say.
Okay, it supports the author's idea, right? So if the main idea is what the author's trying to get, the idea that they're trying to get across to you, a supporting detail is something that's important to have you understand that main idea. All right, so we are going to take a look at this book that you brought over today. My friends who are at home, you picked this book up either last week or most of you. So go ahead and grab that One Well book. Good job, Gavin. You got it. Awesome. Everybody grab that book. So what is the title of this book? The title, Mr. Logan, Peters, tell me what the title is.
One Well.
One Well. I still don't know why what's going on with my stuff today. I just don't know why it's not working today. I can hear them, but nobody else can. All right. I wonder why it's not giving me the opportunity to click on and it has nothing to do with my sound. I'm not sure. It could just be getting old.
I've noticed it more lately.
Have you been having trouble with yours too? No? All right. Well, I'll just have to be the go-between for this for the moment. All right. So the name of it is One Well. What is a well? Oh, I left on my vocabulary over at Mrs. Robin. It's not all of today, so thank goodness. All right. So, but I have them in order. All right. What is a well? Some of us who live in not in the city might have a better idea of what a well is. No, so Mr. Finn, yep, definitely that's the name of our book. But what is a well? What do you think a well is? Josh Carr.
A well is like something that I can get water from.
Okay, something you get water from. That is true. Madison, anything you can add to that? Where the water comes from? What water? The water? Our water? All of the water? What do you think, Miss Madison? Fresh. Ah, I like how you used our vocabulary, the fresh water. All right. Robert, add some information to that.
A well is a thing where there's a bucket and then a wheel thing and then a rope and then you let the bucket down and there's a bunch of water and the people, someone gets a bunch of rocks.
All right.
And then the bucket would scoop up some water and then you would pull it back up and then you have a bucket of water.
Okay. So when we think of a well, we might think of like a wishing well, right? With this big hole, and there's even a picture. If you look at the front of the cover of your book over here, where I think this is what you're thinking of, right, Robert? Where there's a hole and they have a place for a bucket that they can lower it down. So how many of you have one of these at your house? Yeah, not many of us, right? We don't have really a well like that. So that is a stereotypical, so what we think of when we think of a well. But I have a well at my house and it doesn't look like that, does it? No, many of us might have that, get our water from a well, but it doesn't look like a big, it doesn't look like that. But the definition technically is a deep hole in the ground where you find water. Now, at my house, there's a lot of apparatus that are taking that wet water from the well and bring it to the house. And it's all, there's machinery that pumps it out of the well. And many of you may have a well similar to that. In fact, I'm going to encourage you tonight to ask your families where you get your well, if you have a well or if you get it from a different situation, because it's going to be important later when we're talking for you to have a little bit of a sense of where does your water come from. So this deep hole in the ground just isn't exposed at my house, but this is a place that we definitely, So this is called One Well, the story of water on earth. Okay, so when we are talking about one well, do you think we're thinking about one hole with water? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, I'm seeing some thumbs down. Doesn't seem like maybe that's what it is. So we're gonna take a little look today at what this book might be about. All right, so I would like you to take some time. Go ahead and open your book. Some of you may have already done this, earlier this morning or just as I was talking. I just want you to flip through it briefly and then tell me what you think it might be about. All right. And on the back, there's a little blurb by a couple different people about the book. You might want to read the blurb on the back. Mr. Fenn, we're looking through the book. That's what we're doing right now. Yeah. And we're trying to determine what do we think this book is going to be about. Okay, so I heard some people say it's about water. Yep, what else though? What else could this book be about? Elena, what are you thinking?
I think that only one dog in this little town and everyone gets the water from it.
Okay, so you think this might be a story about a well? Okay. What are you thinking, Evie? Okay, all kinds of different types of water in the water cycle, says Miss Evie. Gavin, what do you think? Mr. Gavin, go ahead and unmute and tell me what you think this book might be about.
I think it's about how water came to Earth.
Okay, how water came to Earth. All right, good. That's an excellent idea, possibly. Surnay? The story of water on Earth. But what does that mean to you, Surnay? What do you mean? What do you think it means by story? Okay, water all over. Okay, all right. Robert, what are you thinking?
I think it's like the source of water, like where it comes from, like the ocean.
Okay.
The wishing get your water from your house, but you like the well for Earth and the way that Earth has its up.
Okay, whoa, I'm trying to reword that, Mr. Robert. You did a great job. So he was talking about we get our water from like one place, but he thinks this book has a little bit more about how water it is provided for the whole earth. Very nice job, Mr. Robert. Miss Lyric, what are you thinking?
I think it's about animals.
Animals,
That need water.
Animals that need water. Okay, interesting thing. All right, so you probably have been using pictures and maybe some of the words and maybe some of the headings of some of the pages might be giving you some ideas. Cole, what were you thinking?
I think it's going to be about water around the Earth and that it's very valuable.
Ah, water around the earth and how it's very valuable, says Cole Moran.
I think it's how important water is to the Earth.
How important water is to the earth. Very nice, Lila.
So, I noticed something, and I think this is about how there's so much water on the Earth, and it all seems to be by one little well.
Okay, how?
In North America.
Okay, so hold that thought right there. So you were reading some quotes, right? So that gave you a little bit of your idea about how water is around the earth and how it's important. Okay, Abby?
I think it's about how much water there is and why we need it.
All right, so Abby says how much water there is and how we need it so much. So just from looking at it, so I've had a variety of different descriptions of what you think this book's going to be about. Is this a literary text or an informational text? And how do you think you know? So literary would be fiction. So is it fiction or nonfiction, informational or literary? Which do you think it is? Cooper, what are you thinking? What kind of book do you think this is? Nonfiction. And what makes you think so? What about it gives you that sense? Because it talks about water and water's a real thing. Okay. All right. Miss Elena, you kind of thought it was a story earlier. Do you still think that? No, you changed your mind? Okay, what changed your mind?
Because I thought that it was like about how people drink from one well.
Right.
But I think there's more than one well.
Okay, she thinks that there's more than one well and it's not just one right now. Okay, so stand up if you think it's going to be a fiction or literary story. Stand up if you think it's going to be an informational text or nonfiction. Oh, good. Getting everybody on their feet. All right. Good job, my friends. Okay, so let's take a look then. We're going to actually, at this point, we're going to move on to, so the outside, you don't have so they call this a dust jacket. Dust jacket is is like the little thing that they put on the outside. We took all of them off for you because they don't fit very well anywhere. They get, when you put them in your book bin or when you put them in your desk, that dust jacket gets ripped. So we took them all off, but it shows the same thing that's on your actual book there. So what I'm going to have you do is I actually want you to close your book, because remember how I said today we were going to be working on your listening skills. So go ahead and close that book and put it to the side for a moment. I'm going to read. So even my friends at home, go ahead and put that to the side, because we're going to really think about today main idea and supporting details. But I want you to be good listeners, all right, and see if you can figure out what the 2 pages that I'm going to read right now, what is the main idea? What is the one thing that the author really wants you to understand with today's pages, okay? So I just want you to listen for the moment, all right? All right, it's called One Well. That's the name of this section, not just the name of the book. Imagine for a moment that all the water on earth came from, you're not supposed to see, you're supposed to be listening. I'm not showing you anything. Yep, we're just listening. Imagine for a moment that all the water on earth came from just one well. This isn't as strange as it sounds. All water on earth is connected. So there really is just one source of water, one global well from which we draw all of our water. Every ocean wave, every lake, stream, and underground river, every raindrop and snowflake, and every bit of ice in the glaciers and polar ice caps is part of this global well. So whether you're turning on a faucet in North America or pulling water from a well in Kenya or bathing in a river in India, it is all the same water. And because it is all connected, how we treat the water in the well will affect every species on the planet, including us, now and for years to come. Then there are 3 little sections that are also not in those original paragraphs, so I'm going to read those as well. Earth is the only planet that has liquid water and is therefore the only planet that can support life. You need water, and so does every living organism, every person, every plant, and every animal. Without water, nothing can survive. The amount of water on earth has never been changed. It has been the same for billions of years. All right, that's a lot to take in. So I'm going to read it one more time. All right. Yep, because you're going to need this information. So I really want you to gather your ideas. But the question I'm going to ask when I'm done reading it one more time is I'm going to ask you what was interesting that you heard or what surprised you. All right. And I'm going to ask you to write it inside your EL spiral. So I'm going to be asking you to write, not yet, but I'm going to ask you in a minute to be writing. So you are going to be asked to actually use those brain cells and get it down on some paper, okay? So I want you to be thinking about, ooh, that's what I want to write about. That's what I found interesting, okay? All right, so that EL spiral is going to come in handy in a minute. All right, right now I want pencils down though, because I want you writing anything down yet, because right now we're just listening. All right, again, this section is called One Well. You're listening for things that you're finding interesting or surprising. All right. So go ahead and put that pencil down for right now. We're not writing yet. All right. You're ready, Mr. Logan? You're ready? All right, good. Making sure. Mr. Leo, you ready? All right. Good job. Miss Haley Calendar, you good? You can hear me well? All right, here we go. I can tell Isabel is ready. All right, here we go. One well. Imagine for a moment that all the water on earth came from just one well. This isn't as strange as it sounds. All water on earth is connected. So there really is just one source of water, one global well from which we all draw our water. Every ocean wave, every lake, stream, and underground river, every raindrop and snowflake, and every bit of ice and glaciers and polar ice caps is part of this global well. So whether you're turning on a faucet in North America, pulling water from a well in Kenya, or bathing in a river in India, it is all the same water. And because it is all connected, how we treat the water in the well will affect every species on the planet, including us, and for years to come. Earth is the only planet that has liquid water and is therefore the only planet that can support life. You need water, and so does every other living organism, every person, every plant, and every animal. Without water, nothing can survive. The amount of water on Earth has never changed. It has been the same for billions of years. All right, in your EL spiral, I would like you to write down some of what you were thinking when you were hearing this. What did you think about it? And is there anything that surprised you? Okay, oh, not on, oh, this isn't on the page from yesterday. This is on another page. We're not adding anything yet to that, but we will later, Mr. Max. We're gonna add some things to that, but not the page we did yesterday. Not the ones with the sections. Yes, please. Writing down some of the thoughts of things you thought about. Something that surprised you, perhaps. No right or wrong answer, just what you're thinking. Mr. Sawyer, here you go. Good job. My friends at home, get those ideas down. There's no right or wrong answer. Just getting your ideas down. What were you thinking about when I was reading? What surprised you? What stuck with you? Think about it. You're just responding to what you heard. All right, who would like to share something, some of their ideas? And if you are still writing, go ahead and continue it. You're fine. All right, Charlie Carr, what did this make you think? Say that one more time. All fresh water comes from one well, says Mr. Charlie Carr. Good job, Mr. Robert. What are you thinking? Somehow what? Say it one more time. Ah, okay. Destroying it would be bad, wouldn't it? Yikes. Max. All right, so he's wondering, how is there only one source? Okay.
Would it connect to the ocean? Like, if there's only one source, then would it be dirty water?
Ah, okay. So he's wondering about the quality, if it's all connected to the ocean, how is it not dirty water? Okay. Moran, what are you thinking?
I was thinking about
How important water is to the earth. All right. Uh-oh. All right. Ask Miss Aubin if she can grab one from the corner of it's on the back corner there. All right. Miss Isabella, what are you thinking? What'd you write?
It's all one global well.
Okay, it's all from one well. All right. Miss Haley Calendar, what were you thinking? What'd you write down?
All the water in the whole world is the same thing.
All right. All the water in the world is the same thing. All right. Abby, what did you write?
How does the water stay in place?
How does the water stay in place? Okay. The well. Gotcha. All right. Robert, you have some more ideas?
Where is the source?
Where is the source? Aha, that's a good question. Good clarifying question. What do you think, Miss Lila?
So I have two things. I didn't know that all water comes from the same place or source. And what surprised me is our toilet water goes to other people's drinks.
Ah, so Miss Lila was surprised it was all one place, and she was wondering about, so does the water from our toilet go to other people to drink? And how does that happen? Huh? So we'll find out some information about that. Interesting. Hey, so a word that we saw, so a word that we heard. So I'm just going to go over a couple vocabulary words real quick so that we understand some things before I read some more information. So the word global came up. What in the word global? What's the root word? Hey, Mr. Ryder, are you ready? So I'm looking for a root word in the word global. Lennox. Globe. And what does the globe make you think of? Earth, right? The earth. So global, when it says there's a global well, that means it's related to the whole planet. Related to the whole world or the whole planet. You also heard the word glacier. What is a glacier? When we talk about glacier, Miss Haley? Big piece of ice. It's when you say big, that's kind of an understatement, isn't it? It's a gigantic, slowly moving piece of ice formed by compacted snow. So snow that has been pushed so close together. So when you said, so like a piece of ice, right? So that snow has been compacted so hard together that it's formed this very hard, but it's slowly moving piece of ice, very, very large. So glacier, I'm giving you an idea because a little bit later I'm going to read this again and I want to make sure that you understand all these words. The last word I want to talk about at the moment is, what is a faucet? What is a faucet? What do you think, Madison?
A faucet is what comes out of your sink.
So it's where the water comes out of the sink, right? So it might look different depending on your type of sink, right? But a faucet, so we have a fairly large faucet on our here at school. It comes up and it's big, but all of us might have a different faucet in our kitchen than we have in a bathroom. Some of you might have one in your laundry room, or even in a different room in your house. You might have some different faucets, but this definition says a water tap. Faucet meaning someplace where the water comes out. Okay, so I want you to, just for a moment, turn to a neighbor and tell me what you think the main idea. So my friends at home, I'm just going to put you in a quick breakout room. Tell me what you think, discuss what you think is the main idea of these pages. I'm going to put this away for a second. Get you into just some really quick breakout rooms. And I want you to discuss what you think this section is about. Go. Just a couple of minutes. So go ahead and join and talk about what you think the main idea, what this is mostly about. So go ahead and click join, and you'll just go quick for like 2 minutes. Just do with my piece of paper. All right, lost my mind. Oh. I have too many vocabulary words. I just put them on the floor. Sawyer, could you turn around to those kids? They do, don't they? All right. All right, coming back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, if you could open your workbook to page 3. So open up your workbook to page 3. They're gonna close these here in a moment. All right. So on page 3, let's talk about what you think the main idea is for this. I have no idea why this is so dark. It's driving me crazy and I haven't been able to fix it. Maybe you need a new bulb. It could be. Let's see. On screen at least?
Yeah.
All right. All right. That worked. All right.
You want me to turn off one light?
That could probably be helpful. All right. So on top of page 3, it says main idea. So let's kind of see if we can form together what you came up with. Ryder, what did your group decide over there?
We decided that there's only one source of water. That there's one thing of one source of water.
One source of water, says Mr. Ryder. Okay, he thinks that's the main idea. Miss Lyric, what did your group decide?
We decided that it was the one water that came from just one well.
Okay, water that comes from just one well. Excellent. Leo, what did your group decide?
You thought the main idea was how it was talking about how the well, what the well was going to do. How it was talking about the one well in the world of how it's giving water to the world.
Okay, how that one well gives water to the whole world. All right. Miss Moran, what did you decide?
We decided how important water is to the whole earth.
Okay, how important water is to the whole earth. All right, Abby, what did you guys talk about?
We talked about how does one well help all the soil.
How one well helps all the soil?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Lila, what did you guys come up with?
We came up with like how there's one source of water and it kind of goes in a rotation. There's one source of water and it goes to all the different places, then it evaporates and goes back.
Okay, so she said all of the water goes to all the different places and then it evaporates and goes back into the cycle. Okay. All right. So I think one of the words I heard from most everybody was the word all. I heard several of you say the word all. So we're going to start with all. All of the what? Water. So you're writing this in here? All of the water. And where is this water? Well, what are we talking about when where is that well?
The world well.
Well, well, the well. What's our planet that we're on? Earth, right? All of the water on, and we're not going to say, so planet Earth has a capital E, but we're going to just talk
Miss
about,
Harrison,
yes. Oh, am I
what
not sure?
page is this?
So you're doing this on page 3. Yes, you're filling this in on page 3. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for clarifying. Good job. Yep. All of the water on Earth is, if it's one source, then it's all connected, right? It's all connected. If all the water on Earth is connected, then we better do what? What do you think, Paxton? What do we better do if all of the water on Earth is connected? What, as we as humans, need to do? Because we know that we need water to drink, right? We need that fresh water to be safe. So what are we going to have to do? Is what? Preserve it. Okay. Save it. All right. But so remember that fact where it says there the same amount of water, the amount of water on Earth has never changed. It's always the same amount. So what do you mean by when you say save it? What does that really mean? Save it. Because it's not like something like money, right? Where you spend it or you save it, and you spend it, it goes away, right? So if all the water is the same amount forever, then what do we have to do? Because when you say save it, holding it's not going to do us, I mean, it's not necessarily going to happen, right? Because it goes, we know that it moves around, it goes through a process. What are you thinking, Lila?
I think that what we have to do as humans is we have to, I think we might have to, save it.
Save.
Like, not save it as in like hold it, but like make sure that nothing bad happens.
Make sure nothing bad happens to it. What's another word for that, maybe, Marin?
I think I was gonna say make sure we keep the water fresh so that we can still drink it.
Okay, keep the water fresh so we can. So we have. What do you do when you're making sure something's safe? You do what? You take care of it, right? So all the water on Earth is connected. So we need to what? Take care of it. All right. So if that's our main idea, all of the water on Earth is connected. You all said it comes from one source, one place. Okay. So if it's connected, we need to take care of it. Now, what we need to do now is we need to come up with some details that we heard that are going to support this idea. It's going to prove that this is our main idea. So what I'm going to do is I want you in this section, so on this side, not this side, because this side we're going to write real sentences on. But on this side, I want you just to jot down ideas, because I'm going to read it one more time. And then I want you to listen. And if you hear something that you think supports this idea, I want you just to jot it down here. All right. So see on the left side, this is your note-taking area for right now. Okay. So I want you to write in there as the words that I'm saying that make you think, oh, that just proves that that is the main idea. All right. We will add some more things. We'll add some official ideas, some things from the actual text in here. But right now, I just want you to take some ideas. All right. So I'm not going to show you the text. So I still want you to use your what? Your brains and your ears and jot down some ideas. Okay. So have pencil in hand so you can jot some ideas down so that we can share when we're ready to write our actual sentences. Okay. Here we go. One well. Imagine for a moment that all the water on Earth came from just one well. this isn't as strange as it sounds. All water on Earth is connected. So there really is just one source of water, one global well, from which we all draw our water. Every ocean wave, every lake, stream, and underground river, every raindrop and snowflake, and every bit of ice and glaciers and polar ice caps is part of this global well. So whether you're turning on a faucet in North America, pulling water from a well in Kenya, or bathing in a river in India, it is all the same water. And because it's all connected, how we treat the water in the well will affect every species on the planet, including us, now and for years to come. Earth is the only planet that has liquid water and is therefore the only planet that can support life. You need water, and so does every other living organism. Every person, every plant, and every animal. Without water, nothing can survive. You're supposed to be jotting some things down, you're hearing. The amount of water on Earth hasn't ever been changed. It has been the same for billions of years. Okay, so what are some of the things that you jotted down that help support? Here we're having our supporting details, our notes that we are just jotting down. Abby, what did you write in there?
I do two, but they're not that long.
Okay, just give me one. Your favorite.
Why is there one well?
Okay, so we are trying to come up with information. We're not asking questions at this point. At this point, we are looking for information on our pages that you were listening to that help you with this idea of what this main idea is. All right. Okay, Robert, what are some things you jotted down? You're on fire today.
One of them is thousands of billions of years ago, there was water on Mars, and where there was a lake, that's where they landed them.
Okay, so what is the sentence that you wanted me to, that was from here though, that supports this question here, or this main idea? So you added some information, right, about Mars, but what planet is the only one that has liquid water? Earth. Okay, so liquid water, Earth. Okay, what are some other things? Sunny, what did you add? All right, water, same amount. Forever, really, right? For billions of years. Miss Lila.
So I have three things I got from the book.
Okay.
And the first thing I got was all water is connected.
Okay.
And then the second one I got is it is all connected. And the third one is without water we would all be gone. All life would be gone.
All right. All life needs water, right? Okay. Mr. Johnson, what did you write down on that page, just as some of your notes? Mr. Johnson? Mr. Johnson, what did you write down in that side while I was reading? Was there anything that made you think about our main idea? Okay, not sure. All right, Miss Ellie, you had your hand up earlier. What else can I add? Ah, rivers, lakes, oceans. All right. There's some good ideas. All right. So this is what I want you to do now. Go ahead and open your book to page 4 and 5 because that's the pages I've been reading. And I want you to do, remember how we have that thing where Mrs. Harrison asked you to point exactly to the text, explicitly find some information from the text? So, nope. Listen, Miss Elena, it's in your book, your One Well book. In your One Well book, look at pages 4 and 5. Here's the actual words now. We're going to find some sentences. Now that you had your ideas that you wrote briefly on here, now on this side, we want you to write some sentences that actually prove the supporting details. So I want you to read through and see if you can point to a sentence that shows exactly what our main idea is. So here's our pages. This is our main page. This one does have 3 other sentences there, sections. All right. I'm going to read it a little bit. I'm going to read aloud, and then I want you to put your finger on the sentence you think really well supports this. Okay? So remember our main idea. All of the water on earth is connected. So we need to take care of it. So if the sentence says that exact same thing, is that a detail? No, that's the actual main idea, right? We're looking for sentences that support this idea. Imagine for a moment that all the water on earth came from just one well. Is that a detail? No, that's helping us understand the main idea. This isn't as strange as it sounds. All water on earth is connected. So there's really just one source of water, one global well from which we all draw our water. Is that a supporting detail? Yes, definitely. On earth, we all, so right here, we're going to say on earth, we all draw our water from one well. Mr. Paxton, are you getting this down? I took it directly. A lot of you are trying to scroll it from the screen. Did I just take it from the book? Yeah. Yes. So if you want to look at it on page 4, you don't have to look at it on my screen. You can, but it's really in your book, isn't it? It's really just from where I read that. From which we all draw our water. What do you think that word draw? Am I actually drawing with like a pencil? No. In this case, what does draw mean? It means to get from it, right? To bring it from. All right. On earth, we all draw our water from one well. Does that make us connected? Hold on. All of the water is connected. We all are taking our water from the water that's available. Are we all connected that way? Definitely. If I'm drawing my fresh water from that one source, do I want it to be clean? Yes. Do the people on the other side of the earth want it to be clean? Yes, they need it. We all need it to be drinkable and safe, right? Okay, let's look at our next sentence. Every ocean wave, every lake, stream, and underground river, every raindrop and snowflake and bit of glaciers in polar ice caps is part of this global well. What do we think about that? Does that sentence tell us that they are connected? What do you think, Lila?
I think we could write like all pieces of water are a part of this well.
Okay, so should we give some examples? Should we write that whole sentence though?
No.
Not necessarily. Do we have to write all of that? That's a lot of things to write down. So let's write every ocean. So this goes back to what Max was talking about. It's like everything is ocean water. Well, we're going to have to talk about that. How does that connect? Every ocean wave, lake, stream, dot, dot, dot. I'm not going to write them all, right? You don't have to write them all. But all of those different things are all part of so does the water that came out of my faucet over here in this sink, or Gavin's water that he's going to go maybe get a glass of water when it's break time. Was that water once in the ocean? Yes. Was that water once in a lake somewhere? Yes. All of the water for billions of years is the same water. Think about the book yesterday. Remember Water Dance? Was that water getting around in the water cycle? Yes, it sure was. It was a waterfall. It was a rainbow. It was a thunderstorm. It became all of those things. So our water at some point was the same water that was in the ocean. Do we care about how clean the ocean is then? Definitely, because we sometime might get our water from the ocean. All right. Are we ready to move on? So whether you're turning on a faucet in North America, so Jensen, when you turn on your faucet, it's a faucet from North America, right? Pulling water from a well in Kenya or bathing in a river in India, it is all the same water. Does that show that it's connected? Is that a good detail? Yes, probably. Water from a faucet in, I'm just going to write NA for North America. A well in Kenya or river in India is all, I'm going to underline all, the same water. Water's not added, water's not subtracted. So do I care how those people in Kenya are taking care of their water?
Yeah.
Sure. Do you think the people in India care about how we take care of our water? Yes, definitely. So we need to take care of it. Mr. Writer, do you have all of this written down? All 3 sentences? All 3 details. All of these 3 sentences go back to telling, they came directly from the text, and they all show how 3 different ways that we know that the water is connected. And they also show us that we better take care of it. Huh. If you're having troubles, you remember it's all on page 4. I got everything from page 4. So if you're struggling with seeing it on the board, all I did was come from page 4. I did not reinvent any sentences. I left out a little bit here and there, took out some middles, so you didn't have to write down everything, right? Mr. August, you got all 3? Great. All right. So our job today was to just sort of think about what this book is about, wonder a little bit about what we're going to be learning about, and find out in this first section what the main idea we think for the author is trying to get across, and how we know that, how can we prove it, what supporting details prove our idea. All right. Okay, my friends, I'm going to allow you to get those 3 sentences in there. Tomorrow, we're going to read a little bit more. And instead of listening, I'm going to ask you to actually do some reading and some answering of some questions that we get from this idea from the book. All right. Give me a thumbs up at home If you got those 3 sentences, you got all your supporting details. All right, good job, my friends. Okay, good job. Nice job, Miss Lyric. Miss Haley, did you get all that? All right, Miss Astria, good job. All right, thank you, Gavin. Thank you, Leo. You're right, we didn't. All right, my friends, good job, Isabella. All right, my friends, I'll see you guys. Good job, Logan. I will see you guys shortly for some all block and some math, and some of you for conferences as well. It'll be exciting conferences today. All right, my friends.